Hi friends, welcome back. I am Tara T with Old Soul Factory for this week's video, and today I'm going to be showing you what I made this week. I'm going to show you some of the new products that I bought for myself, like crochet supplies I bought for myself. I'm going to talk about what I plan on market prepping in the future and some patterns that I kind of have in mind for this. And then I'm also going to show you some of the whips that I've had sitting around for a little while that I also hope to hopefully get done soon and get those ready for my market, because honestly whips are just kind of wasted unless you actually get them finished, of course. So I have lots of those that I can finish up hopefully pretty quickly in the next week before we do next week's recap, and then I can show you those because lots of them just need little tweaks here and there of stuff that just needs to be done on them. Okay, so first things first, I want to go ahead and just show you and get it out of the way of everything that I made this week. Honestly, if you know me, you know I don't make a lot in a week, and you also know that I've been getting really super into like one-piece cards. One-piece trading cards are like a really cool thing to me right now. Another little hobby that I've picked up. I have way too many hobbies. I don't know how to pick one, but that's one that's stuck around for quite a while now. And so I've been sorting the cards, putting them in the right orders, putting them into binders to protect them, and just getting them all organized and together. And that's been a lot of fun because you like color sort them all and then you number sort them all, and it's been very, very, very fun to do. So I've been spending a lot of time doing that and finding new ways to organize and sort and those kinds of things, which I thoroughly enjoy. You can't probably tell that by my background, but I do like to sort things and organize things, especially if I'm like hyper focused on it. And right now I'm hyper focused on it, so I've been trying to just keep up with it while I have the chance. So I've been really into that this week. I have also been market prepping at least a little bit. I feel like in the past few weeks I've not been very good about that, so I was like, I'm gonna sit down and find some patterns to just go ahead and market prep really fast. I made this little possum this week. I had made one of these a while back, but I made this little guy with some mystical yarn, and actually this isn't mystical, this is the dabbled yarn in the dabbled gray color, and then a little bit of the dabbled coral color from my scrap bin, and then its little roadkill face, which is really cute. I think I want to go back and put like a little bit of pink on the nose. It turned out super cute. Possums sell really well. Mom sold a lot of her possums at this last market, so I was like, I just want to make one real quick. It was saved in my Instagram from forever ago, and I just wanted to make something to kind of get myself rolling. And then if you watched my last video, you know that I sold a ton of loaf cats. I sold out of, I think, all of my loaf cats except for one, if I remember right. And so I was like, I want to make more loaf cats, but I want to do something a little different this time. I wanted to do some loaf cats with the safety eyes that I've actually made, which was super fun. So I went ahead and made one really quickly while I had out the yarn and I had the time. So I made this little guy. I had lots of people say I needed to, well, not lots of people, but I had a few people, I would say, at the last market say I needed a tuxedo cat. And so I was like, you know what? They're right. I need to make different kinds of cats. That's part of the fun, I feel like, is customizing them and making them so cute and fluffy and just unique little versions of all of these cats. So I made this one, and it obviously has my blue eyes in there, which are just so, so, so pretty. I love these eyes so much. These are my bell-bottom ones out of the Groovy Glow collection, and then I have its little tail just tucked inside. I just need to stuff it and sew the tail on and everything. So a nice little whip that I can wrap up quickly, probably as soon as I finish filming this video, and then I'll just put its little whiskers and nose on there, of course. But these eyes, so pretty. I love them so much, and I love the little patch of black. And I used to use this speckled burnt color all the time because I was making chickens quite often, especially when they first blew up, and I was like, I want to keep making chickens, and this is such a fun color to use for them. I feel like it fits the chicken vibe very well. So I was like, I'm gonna use it for something else this time. So I was like, let me make a loaf cat with it because it just adds a little bit more texture, a little bit more color. And those are the ones I feel like sold first at our last market, were just all of the ones that had a little something different, whether it was a little bit of a different color or patches or something like that, or it had a yarn that had more of a texture to it, a visual texture, I should say. Obviously it's just regular blanket yarn, but something that made it a little bit different than the other ones. People felt a little bit cooler about picking out their special cat, I felt like. So I'm going to start making some more that are just not solid colors, but they have something a little special about them. This is also a great way as well, I feel like, to use up some of my scraps. I have a lot of neutral colored scraps from making loaf cats in the past, from making the chickens and stuff, and I just didn't have enough to finish something. And usually with my little scraps, they're, you know, bright, fun colors, so I can make little octopi or little whales or turtles or something small and colorful. But with those neutral colors, I feel like I don't want to make such fun animals in neutral colors sometimes. So, which there's nothing wrong if you do that. I just personally, I never think about using them for that reason. So I was like, this will be the perfect way to get rid of some of those neutral colored scraps, is just adding in some fun little ears, noses, maybe some stripes, patches, or making the little feet a different color even. Makes a big difference because it makes it look like it took more time, you know, and I think that's what people are looking for. So again, one loaf cat done. Love this little guy. It made me want to make more, and I have the pattern memorized, which is why I started it in the first place, so I could just quickly work on it while I was watching TV. So whenever I was working on that, I was like, I want to work on something else that's a little bit more mindless, but something different, something I haven't tried before. So I had gotten on Etsy a while back, and obviously I'm constantly ordering patterns, I feel like, which is kind of a really bad habit, but I have been ordering tons and tons of patterns and not making them. And before, I would only order patterns if I was going to make them in that moment. And so I have the bad habit of just ordering them whenever I feel like it or whenever they're on sale, and I'll be like, oh, I'll get to it later. But I have not gotten to a lot of them. So I was like, I'm going through my patterns that I'd purchased in the past, and I was like, I had this one for a while. And it's so cute, especially after the last market. Mom sold a bunch of her Drift the octopus from the Crochet Carpenter. And so I was like, "Ah, that just sounds like so much fun." And she's like, they really don't take that long. They take under an hour. And she had 20, I think, on them. And I was like, that just sounds like fun. I love sea creatures too, and they always seem to sell very, very well. And I feel like I'm getting tired of making turtles a little bit, so I was like, I want to do something different. So I got Ripple the Ray from the Crochet Carpenter. I thought this pattern was so adorable, and I used to make stingrays. It was like one of the first things that I used to make, and I had just hadn't made them again since because they were just so little. And I just love this pattern though. This pattern turned out so well. I used the blue mystical color, which I feel like fits it very well. Again, I like using yarns that have a little bit of some visual interest to them instead of just a solid color. So this is one of those colors I never really knew what to make with it, and so it fits this pattern so well. So I ended up making two of them while I had the color out. So I made two of Ripple the, I think it's Cow Nose Ray is what it's called, but it's just so cute. It just has regular black safety eyes too, which also makes projects like this a lot quicker because I don't have to get out my eye tool or make sure I have, you know, the exact same colored eyes and the right size backs and all of the things. I just have a little case that has my black safety eyes and whatever size it is with the backs already in there, and I just get that out, and I don't have to search for the perfect color or anything. It makes projects that are market prep friendly a lot simpler if I'm just using black eyes. So this just worked out very well. So I really thoroughly enjoyed this pattern. I think I could make, I timed myself, guys. You should be so proud of me. I feel like I never time myself. I just kind of guesstimate. I look at the clock when I start, sometimes write down the time, and then, but I literally sat down and started a stopwatch to see how long it took. And it took me, I did the first one, and then the second one took me 32 minutes, which is not bad at all. I feel like I can get probably 15 out of these though, because they're a good size, I would say. I'm going to at least charge 12. I feel like these deserve a, what's it called? What's the word? Adoption certificate. There we go. Which if you watched the last video, again, you saw that we started those. So I feel like if we do anything over 12, they get an adoption certificate. So I feel like I need to at least charge 12 for these. But me and Mom had a long conversation, and I feel like I'm undercharging myself just a little bit sometimes. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go up to 15 for these because they do take 30 minutes. They do take a good amount of time sewing in like the little ends and stuff too. There's quite a few ends from this, I would say. But it's very market prep friendly, and it did not take long, obviously, at all. But they just turned out so cute, and they've just got so much detail and such a market prep friendly pattern, which I love. Like the little fins in the back, the tail, obviously, the big fins on the side, the bobble stitch above the eyes makes it so much better too. It's just, I loved this pattern. I cannot recommend it enough. I also went ahead and made a light blue one. I feel like I'm gonna make some other colors. Okay, I'm gonna make some other colors, but the blue ones were just really piquing my interest in the moment. Okay, but this blue one, I love this color, by the way. I love this color so much. It's one of my absolute favorite colors. It's actually from a Perfect Phasing burnout skein. So this is the color Electric Blue, which we've talked about this color before. I did my Ocean Chums pattern pack. I made, I think, one of each of them in that skein, which is probably why it's been used a little bit, I feel like. But I wanted to make one of these guys out of this color, and I feel like it was perfect, right? The colorway turned out very good. Like, you can't hardly tell that it was actually phasing the colors at all, which was kind of nice, because I like that about this skein. I like to pick smaller patterns so it looks like they're all the same color at least, and it's not like weirdly changing, especially because you make the body from front to back, you chain out for the tail, and then you start with one fin and then you go down the front side and fasten off, but then you reattach on the other side to do the other fin. So I was worried that I would get to the end of one fin and it would be lighter, and then the whole other fin would be in the light color. And again, it's perfect phasing, so it's probably a little bit different, but it does work out very well. So I made 3 of these guys, again, probably for 15 each, and it is Ripple the Cow Nose Ray by the Crochet Carpenter over on Instagram, or not Instagram, Etsy. But I thoroughly loved that new pattern. That was super fun. And again, I feel like I could use some like blue variegated yarns that I do have to make these a little bit more fun. And so I'm really excited to be working on more of these in the future, because I feel like this is gonna be my new market prep make, and I 10 out of 10 recommend it. I also would love to try to make him in the Sweet Snuggles yarn, like the bigger yarn. And if I do that, I definitely think I could charge like 20, and I could put like glitter eyes on them too, maybe even 22, depending on how big they end up turning out. But I think that would be super fun too, and getting to pick some glitter eyes for them would be fun, and the different colors that I have. It would just be a good project to make in multiple sizes, and usually I don't do that. Usually if I make a pattern, I only make it in one kind of yarn, one kind of size, I feel like. So that would be a fun project to do though. So I might be doing that in the next week. Now, if you've watched my last few videos, I feel like I keep saying that in this video, but I recently made like a cat pattern that I was kind of throwing out there. I kind of tested it for myself to see if I liked it, and I wanted to try it again to try to make it in a bigger yarn size to see how big I could end up making it, because in Burnout it already turned out very big, so I wanted to see how big it would turn out in a bigger yarn. So I grabbed some Big Twist plush yarn and I started it, and this is just the head, okay? This head is literally as big as my head. It is crazy how big this thing is, but it is huge. It's just so funny how big it ended up turning out, but it is so big. I've already got the arms and the feet and everything, because everything gets sewn into the round. Except for the head gets sewn onto the body. So I loved this so far, but I had lots of people also pick it up at the last market, and it was just a really fun pattern to kind of make and throw out there. So I had worked on that. A few other webs I still have in the works is I still have this moth by Red Mills Crochet, and I still have her, because I've had a couple people ask, but I still have her, forgot what this pattern was called. The Druid Kitty, that's what it is. I still have this one in the works too. It's in my whips pile over here on my desk that I really want to get to as well. And I still have a fuzzy toothless dragon that I feel like I want to get to pretty soon too. But those are just a few of the whips I have on my desk that I've been touching a little bit, working on just a little bit. And so I've got lots of things in the works, but you will have to just stay tuned on most of those. But after this last market, well, actually before the last market, I had kind of sat down with myself and told myself, you know what, I deserve a little sweet treat, a little special treat myself moment, okay? So I got over on Etsy, and there was several things that I had on there that I was like, this would be such a cute little crochet gift. And so I was like, I'm gonna treat myself, and I'm gonna get myself some crochet gifts. So I just wanted to show you a few of the things that I had actually bought for myself. I actually have two of them on my desk here that I'm very excited to show you because they're so adorable. I love them both so much. But the first thing that I bought are these teeny tiny, you probably can't even see them from all the way back here, but these teeny tiny little scissors. Look at how cute those are. They are the tiniest little things, and they have their own little protector on them because why not? But oh my gosh, I was like, this is perfect. I keep like bringing my regular scissors with me to like everything, and they're just so big, especially if it's just cotton yarn. I'm like, I could keep this in my purse, you know, like my little emergency scissors even. Like, they're so tiny, so cute, would work so well. And of course, you know, if you know me, you know I had to pick the pink little color and the pink little protector because that's just adorable, and I love pink so much. But it was so cute. It came in the cutest little like box and everything. Like, it was adorable, and I just felt like all my scissors are starting to kind of dull a little bit too. I was like, I want to find the smallest scissors I possibly can because that would be so much fun. But here is the creator. It's Gabriella Makes Things over on Etsy. Again, so cute. I love them so much, but this is the one that I'm really excited about. So on the crochet retreat, there was several of our friends there that obviously had a bunch of really cool tools and stuff that I have not seen or I don't have, or things that I simply just make do without, I would say. But I was like, I'm gonna treat myself, like I said, and this time I did, and I found the cutest little thing. So if you saw that video, I don't even know if I talked about it in the video, but I had seen a couple of our friends had mini Amy sticks, okay, and I make do without Amy sticks usually, and then I ended up getting like the plastic knitting needles to kind of use in place of them, and then I got a pair or two of Amy sticks that I really like. I have like a little cow set that Miss Haley had gotten me, and I love those. And then I have another one, I think that's plant themed, if I remember right. But they had the short ones, and I didn't realize that this was a thing even until the crochet retreat, really, or maybe I just never put, you know, two pieces together up here. But they have mini ones that are like shorter for smaller projects, or so they don't stick out so far all the way down through your plushies and stuff. It makes it really hard when you're sewing on things, and I always thought that would be a problem, but I never, like I said, never really put two and two together to realize that there was a simple solution, and it's just buying mini Amy sticks. So I bought these super cute little one-piece themed Amy sticks from an Etsy seller, and I'll put their little name up on the screen, of course. But I got these from them, and I have little Luffy in the red and Zorro in the green, and I just think they're so adorable. I love these little guys. I love how cute and like kawaii kind of they are, you know, and it just, they're so tiny. They're just like the perfect little, I think they're like 8-inch Amy sticks, I believe. And then they just come with the little protectors on the ends, of course, which I love because I'm going to eventually stab myself with these, I know, if I don't keep them on there. But these are the perfect size. I have already made a project, which is kind of a secret project right now. I can't really talk about it too much, but I made a project the other day, and I was sewing the head onto the body, and I used these for it. It was perfect. The neck's kind of skinnier, and so I was like, I don't want, or the body's kind of skinnier and the neck is skinnier, but I didn't want them to stick super far out because that's always my issue, is they stick way too far out, and then I can't like put them down on my desk in front of me and really make sure everything's lined up as much as I would want to. And so this is the perfect solution. It worked so perfectly. I love them so much already. They even came in like a cute little bag and cute little wrapping paper and everything. They were adorable. The Etsy seller was so sweet. All the little freebies they both included, honestly. But I love these so much. I definitely want to order more. I particularly wanted some that were Stitch themed because if you know me, you know I love Stitch and Angel. from Lilo and Stitch, of course. And so I love them so, so much. And I tried to find a seller that had some and I didn't have any luck. So I want to find some cute Stitch ones next, I think. So, but I will definitely be using these. These are great, great gifts. And so were the little mini scissors. I've already used them too, but they were a great little gift, a little treat myself moment, as I said. Well deserved. And I will definitely be revisiting those sellers if I need more Amy sticks, or if those scissors eventually dull, because I'm sure they will, and I'll need a new pair. Whew, I feel like I just don't stop talking sometimes. Man, I gotta remember to breathe here, okay? So that's basically all of the updates I have for you guys. I also had been thinking and planning a lot this week, trying to figure out if I could fit in time to make the safety eye advent calendars that a lot of crocheters and content creators do. I think what I decided is eventually I'm just gonna make them an advent calendar, but not Christmas, for Christmas time. I think it would be super fun to do like more in the spring or something, and whenever I do one of my safety eye drops, then I could just kind of release them along with that, and it would be more of like a mystery bundle, so you could open them whenever you wanted to, kind of deal. Or maybe my birthday is in May, and I thought that that would be super fun. It'd give me a lot more time to get more of them prepped too and ready for you guys, so I thought that that would be really fun as well. And I could do kind of like a birthday advent calendar kind of thing, because my birthday is on the 25th, and so it would be like the same thing as Christmas, you know, so it would be like a little birthday advent calendar, and I could include some other little fun things in there, along with some like maybe some stitch markers, maybe even a couple of free patterns that, you know, I make between now and then, kind of deal. So if you would be interested in that, let me know down below, because I think that there's kind of a lull that I hit after all of the winter markets and a few spring markets, and then we get to summertime and I'm like, I just feel like I need more inspiration sometimes, so I feel like that timing would be pretty perfect for that. So let me know down below if you'd be interested in something like that at all from me. Again, if I do post any safety eye sets, they will be over on my Etsy, which is linked down below for you guys. I feel like I'm definitely going to be doing more of these like sit down videos and stuff. And with that in mind, I also feel like Vlogmas is kind of right around the corner, and maybe even a possibility if I can get to it. So I'm going to keep that in mind. Maybe we'll see. Let me know down below as well if you would be interested in a Vlogmas from me, because that would be a lot of work, but it would be super fun. So I don't know how I feel about all that. So, and I believe that's pretty much it for this week. I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but it was a lot for me in the time span of everything else that I had going on this week in my life. So anyways, I'm gonna get off of here and stop yapping your ear off, basically. I appreciate you guys being here and checking in with me and seeing what I've been working on lately. I would love to know what you guys are working on down below as well. And if you need anything, you guys know where to find me, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye!